Hey guys, BigRose9 here, giving you another matchup of the IPDL Season 4. Of course, this is our first week, going up against the South London Sawsbucks and Coach Humble Haunter. So, a first-time battle against him. And after watching some replays, I feel like he's more of a kind of a random guy, so who knows what's gonna happen. So his mons are Mega Pinsir, Mew, Celebi, Cobalion, Tentacruel, Incineroar, Licky Licky, Electabuzz, Sylveon, Goodra, Sandslash, and Hitmontop. So a bit of an all-around team. He seems to be more bulky, especially defensive-wise, with a bunch of speed all over the place. However, a highly threatening team that I do not want to be dealing with. But we have to. It is what it is. Things to watch out for are his Z users, with Cobalion in Licky Licky, and then Mew just being ran everything, pretty much. Mew is his all Z user, so a clear thing to watch out for. But with that being said, let's get into the prep, as to say. So, first up is Trifecta, our Mega Beedrill. Mega Beedrill kind of two-shots everything, regardless if it was adamant or not. A huge switch into this thing, though, could possibly be Cobalion, as Cobalion is actually a three-shot. As well, you could say Licky Licky would be as well, but Poison Jab for things like Sylveon, Drill Run for the Electabuzz, Cobalion. Poison Jab also touches the Celebi, might I add, and the Tentacruel, might I add, for the Drill Run, and Drill Run also hits Incineroar really well. Then we got U-Turn for Celebi, just kind of get off some momentum if he does switches. And then Fell Stinger to really play off the bat. Like, I think if we do get one, we can kill Cobalion with a Drill Run. Of course, didn't calc that 100%. But, anyways, next up we got Vanity, our Fiery MZ, Dazzling Gleam, Focus Blast, V-Crate, and Zen Headbutt. So, kind of a mixed teamy here, running a Naughty Nature. I feel like Vanity's purpose is to just be able to take down the really big threats. For example, Celebi and Cobalion, and even Mega Pinsir as well. Originally, I did have Sunny Day on here, but I scrapped that for Flame Charge, and then I scrapped that. Focus Blast can hit things really hard. If Incineroar is Assault Vest, it pretty much three-shots him. Cobalion does not want to take a V-Crate. Tentacruel doesn't really want to take a Zen Headbutt, or well, come into a Zen Headbutt, might I say. Mega Pinsir, of course. Only at this time do they want to do this to me. Anyways, like I was saying, so things like that. I decided to run Dazzling Gleam just in case he does bring in his Hitmontop or his Goodra, in which Goodra actually does do a little bit in this matchup. Next up we got Permafrost, or Choice Scarfed, Thick Fat, Mammothswine, running Icicle Crash, Earthquake, Superpower, and Ice Shard. A big thing that was kind of brought to my attention was that I'm going to need something for the, priority for things that I can outspeed. Well, it was pretty much a big bring on this part in this week. I'll show you why for a minute. So Earthquake really hurts Cavalion, really hurts Tentacruel. Celebi does not want to come in on Icicle Crash. Neither does Mega Pinsir really. You've got Electabuzz that doesn't want to come in on probably any of this. Superpower for the Licky Licky, as well as Superpower for the Incineroar, but as always, we can always hit Earthquake. And as well, Icicle Crash can be used for the Sand Slash. Big note on that one. Next up, we go with our boy Shino Ryu, the Life Orb Noivern. A big thing is that I didn't really see any reason to run a subset on anything, so I decided to run a Frisk set. Try to learn the items of what my opponents are, and I'm kind of proud of this. So Draco Meteor really hits the Goodra hard, if not Assault Vest. Actually, even then I think it's a 2-shot. Heat Wave for things like, again, the Cavalion. Cavalion is a big threat to our team. Celebi, Mega Pinsir as well. Then you've got Hurricane. Just all around hurts Celebi. It can also damage the Sylveon really well, along with the Hitmontop. And then we bought Roost instead of Defog because, I mean, since we're Life Orb, I felt like if Shino needs to actually be a bigger threat, then we can just Roost off. Next up, we got La, our Mischievous Eviolite, running Power Gem, Toxic, Hex, and Psychic. Power Gem for obvious reasons, the Mega Pinsir. Toxic Hex set, pretty common. Really hinders Licky Licky when Toxic. Hinders the Sylveon. It can hinder a lot of his team. And if Mew comes in on it, then that's perfectly fine, because we really just destroy it. And then Psychic for, again, Cavalion and Hitmontop. I know Cavalion resists, but we can really get some Spidef drops there to help us. And then finally, we got our boy, our girl, Golden Bonnie, running Citrus Berry, Sap Sipper for the Celebi, for sure, with Aqua Jet, Play Rough, Belly Jump, and Knockoff. I feel like he's going to be bringing something that's Scarfed, so Knockoff is a big thing here. As well, we're not running as much speed, but just enough to help us out. Running Aqua Jet for priority, obvious. Play Rough, and then if we do get a Belly Drum off, then we are running. With that being said, let's go into the replay. So, of course, he brings the Mega Pinsir. I didn't think he would bring the Mew or the Celebi, but instead does bring the Celebi. I also didn't think he would bring the Cavalion for reasons that he had another fighting type, but he brought it, so it is what it is. He didn't bring Tentacruel. He did bring the Incineroar like I thought, and did bring the Sylveon like I thought. I also thought that he would bring Hitmontop, just because obvious reasons. I felt like Cavalion was countered way too much, so he wouldn't bring it, but he brought it. And of course, no Electabuzz, due to us thinking that electric types really hurt us. So we start with Shino Ryu. We find out that his Hitmontop is lefties. He gets his little Intimidate boost thing. We miss a Hurricane there, went for it, but we do end up getting the Confusion on their next Hurricane, so perfectly fine. I go into Law on the switch in. I'm actually going to slow this down a little bit. He switches out on the Toxic, which is perfectly fine. I go into Vanity here, predicting the rocks. And so, HG comes in here, and I just perfectly V-create and get this thing out of here. The crit, sadly did matter, so, you know, I am very sorry about that. He then goes into his Incineroar here, in which I just go into Golden Bonnie, predicting the Darkest Lair. He then goes into Onion, don't know how to pronounce that. I go for the knockoff, predicting that, and we get rid of that Choice Scarf. He reveals a trick, which is actually very interesting. We go for the player off. Citrus Berry activates, rip, and he activates our Sap Sipper. Thank God. We go for the player off. That does a whole bunch, and then he just sacks this thing off to a player off. So the biggest threat gone. Next up, he goes into his Sylveon. I simply just Aqua Jet just to get damage off, revealing that he's fully defensive. And he kills me with the Hyper Voice. I go straight into my Mega Beedrill. Okay, this is going way too slow. What in the world? He goes into his Cobalion. I was tempted to U-turn here, but I just didn't. I didn't feel like Sylveon had a big of a use. But he then reveals that he is Choice Scarf. That is a problem. He also shows off Stone Edge. Perfectly fine. We take one of those. We go for the Z move, and it hurts the Incineroar really badly, to the point where he dies to a Focus Blast. So, what does this mean? This means that Incineroar is now gone, and one huge defensive threat is gone. I just stay in here and I decide not to really take damage on anything else. I predict the Shadow Ball and just stay in. We somehow live that, and we go for 2 V-creates here, getting huge damage on this thing. I'm surprised he didn't wish there, but it is what it is. So, next up I go into Shino Ryu, and I go for the Heat Wave just because he doesn't really want to sack anything off. So we kill the Sylveon here, and then in comes the Cobalion. So Cobalion goes for Stone Edge, perfectly fine. We just go into Mamoswine. Here's where everything goes a bit topsy-turvy. He missed the Stone Edge, and I predict him to go into Pinsir here and go for the Icicle Crash. Well, that was just a terrible prediction. I was hoping for some crits. No crits. I just go into Law here. Because he's got to know that I'm Scarf at this point. Possibly not. Who knows? He misses another Stone Edge. We live another Stone Edge. We live that Stone Edge. Go for the Psychic. And he misses a third Stone Edge. We go for another Psychic, killing him. And here's where the priority comes into play. We go for the Power Gem here. On an incoming Swords Dance. He did not Mega, surprisingly. And then he decides to Mega here. And return us. And then Choice Scarf. Ice Shard kills him here. I felt like bringing Scarf. Sorry. Scarf Mamoswine is really big. And obviously we see there that it was really big because without it, I think he would have outsped with the Quick Attack. I don't know if Quick Attack would have done enough though, so it is what it is. He says BS for some reason. I mean, sure, I will admit that some of the misses were kind of huge. Sorry. But it is what it is. I know the feels. GG to Haunter here. As the Hope Speak Hydreigons pick up the 1-0 win, as next week we go up against division rivals Red King and the I don't remember the city name, but I know it's the Nagasaki. I believe it's the V-Create Nagasaki or something like that. But if you enjoyed this video, please hit that like button super hard. Please subscribe for more upcoming content, and comment down below your favorite, I would say LC Uber, but kind of like an NFE or an LC Ubermon, because obviously Mischievous did put in some work this week. I'm so glad I drafted this thing, and until next time, peace out, Mikuians.